you. Thank you. I don't know what to make of this. Funny rollers on my nerves type ridiculous. I guess I really gotta do it. Put my game down, all the game fucking fluid. Put my name down, and it sees you fucked up like a drug deal gone wrong. Make it out alive, you won't be that way long. Plus y'all niggas is bush niggas, and I bet you y'all ain't getting no bush either. My little dog sings songs of rejection and pain. If we get sunshine, it's followed up with rain. Like to lay a chick down and get a blessing of rain.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming to the Ghana Goddess at Well. Happy full moon to my, peoples. This full moon is in the sign of Libra, in the sun sign of, the full moon is in the sign of Libra moon, and the sun is in Aries, okay? This is Mars in charge here. So you can see that I'm in my, one of my, how do you call I forgot the name of my own style. apron outfit, okay? My apron outfit. I'm wearing one of my apron outfits. Yeah, so it is all meant to inspire you, the Aries. This is very Aries, okay? Of course, we have some things going on because it's still at wear. I'm also wearing my Aquarius shoe because I'm bringing them out. I'm doing the female line shoe for all the astrological signs. Okay, so I like my aquamarine Aquarius shoes. It works perfect with this Aries outfit, right? As far as I'm concerned, it looks good together. Okay? Okay, so yeah, welcome, and thank you for being here. I'm so excited today because I am just excited. All right, I am. I don't have an explanation. I just am. I'm in a good mood. I have a lot to talk about. I will be talking a little bit about what you're meant to accomplish this year. I'm not going to delve into the full moon like I did all last year like that. I did that part by using that as a way to teach astrology a little bit. But this year, I'm getting into a whole new thing. And if you already know me, you know that to me, this is when the year has already started, or the spring season. So for me, Happy New Year. Yay! Happy New Year. Happy New Year to me. So everything is brand new right now, okay? The energy is fresh, okay? That's what we're doing. What else am I trying to say? Okay, so I will be talking about how to use spirituality to manage fear. All right, using spirituality to manage fear. And you all know this is going to be an interesting talk, okay? And I chose this specifically because it's very much in alignment with Mars, Aries energy. The greatest thing that I admire about Aries is not just about the fact that they are action-oriented people, they are go-getters, they are smart, intelligent, and all that stuff. It's the fact that they are fearless, brave, courageous beings. They are the ones that carry that spiritual warrior in them. So I will be delving into it and using the spiritual principles to explain to you how you navigate fear, how you take charge of fear, and to see from a spiritual perspective what to do with fear. Okay, because you and I know that fear has a lot to do with a lot of failure. Failure and fear is one and the same to me. They are like twin sisters. They come together. So this would be an interesting topic for me. I would love talking about it. All right, it's gonna be fun. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll do a tarot reading where I'll get into your North Node a little bit, where I'll do a general reading, where it will show us what we're supposed to manifest this year, what we're meant to do this year, so it's a collective read, so it will resonate for some of you and some of you won't. And then I also do a fashion towel for the spring, okay? So it's 3 videos today. It's going to be a busy night for me because it's already going in evening here, all right, in Los Angeles, in California. So, but it's going to be fun. I got nothing to do. I did everything else so I can have all day today to chill with you all, okay? So I love this outfit. I like it. Very Aries, very, very, very fiery, right? Love it. So what was I gonna say? So those are the 3 things I'll be doing today. And look on my page because I've posted Aries outfit and Sagittarius outfit, which I'll be doing throughout. Okay, so every Friday I'll have that. My whole line is a spring and summer line, so that's when I pop out. with all that stuff enough. Oh, I'm so excited to see you all, and I can't wait to get into this talk. Okay, you guys like the song? I like what's his name? Hi, Tribe Called Quest. I forgot his name. He has his own name, but he used to be in the the Called Quest or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't even know why I'm struggling with this. Anyway, I love that song because it's all about take you higher, take you higher. You know what I come with the higher stuff. Let's get into it. We are in alignment with being in our higher selves. That's what this is all about. So I'm going to be an oracle, and I'm always going to be that Adware too. Ghana Goddess Adware is the same as Ghana Goddess Oracle, but I come with the teaching, I come with the knowledge, I come with all of that stuff, and I also bring you the artistic thing. Huh? Love you guys. Can't wait to talk to you. Bye. See you there. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming for this little oracle session, right? I hope you enjoyed the introduction. Me showing my Aries outfit. Okay. Being silly, guys. Just being silly. Being silly. A little bit silly. Doesn't have to have a little fun, I'm a fun person when I want to be, Yeah, so happy full moon to all of us. And you guys know that I always come with the stuff. It's that time. So I'm gonna quickly jump. If you didn't listen to the introduction, you did. Yeah, let's not just get into it. I'm gonna start with talking about the spiritual ways of facing fear, right? Facing obstacles, fighting fear. All right. So how are you gonna use the spiritual process to really manage fear? One of the things that I'm just gonna jump right into it, guys, because it's gonna be a long night. One of the things that I've noticed is that most adults are literally afraid to even say they are afraid of something, that they have fears, that they have fears of the unknown, fear of things not working out, fear of spirituality, seeing spirit, ghost, blah, 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 all that stuff. Like even dreaming, seeing, spiritual beings and all that stuff. People are afraid to say they are scared of that new job. They are scared to drive the freeway. They are, adults have a hard time admitting that they are feared because they are fearful of something because why? It makes an adult look like, you're weak or you're scary or you're not courageous or brave. Nobody wants to be seen as weak, all right, or not able to face their fears. No adult really wants it. So I have noticed that most of us will keep it quiet. It's something we don't talk about. It's one of the secrets that adults will keep to themselves, right? But the truth of the matter is that we're all managing our lives, right? We are managers of our lives. One of the things you're going to realize when the deeper you understand spirituality is that on every level comes with its fears. Everything you're doing comes with its fears. To me, I see fear as it can be categorized as a demon, okay? Whatever you think demon is. To me, when I'm talking about demon or negativity, I'm not just talking about entities outside of ourselves. I'm talking about entities that are real because we see it within us. Spirituality is about dealing with that demon and that God within you. The upper chakras are your God aspect, the higher self, and the lower chakras from the solar plexus down is your demon, which is your human aspect. So demon, negativity, or all that can be categorized within you and can be called, negativity can be called demons, depending on how you are putting it into context. Okay, so you are a god and a demon. Let's say that because some people want to say, "Oh, I'm a goddess, I'm a god," but they're afraid to say they are demons too. You are a demon and a god all in one. It's part of you. Okay, let's get that one. That one is a bullet for someone tonight because someone will be like, "Are you saying I'm a demon?" Yeah, you're a demon. You're a demon and a god because without the god, there's no demon. Without demon, there's no god. How are you going to tell if you are? You need both to be able to categorize and put things in perspective. That is what perfection, that is what, authority and godly and whatever life is all about. and I've been talking and hinting about it for a while now. So I'm at the point where I'm not afraid to just, I'm not even afraid. I've never really worried about what anybody thinks anyway, because I'm going to speak my mind, whether you choke me or not. The thing here is, fear is another form of demon, all right, or another form of negativity that is riding everybody on so many levels. Right now here in America, I can tell you that most of us, 99% of us are afraid. We live in fear. Some of us, we don't even realize that fear is what motivates us. We are motivated by fear of not having money, fear of not being able to pay our bills. And because of that, we get whatever job we want to get. We got to get up. Even when we're sick, we got to go, because there is something that is riding us. And that thing is called fear. Trust me, most of us are, what's the word I'm looking for? We make moves and we do make things happen. And what is really moving us is the underlying power or the inspiration is fear. It's not actually a positive inspiration. It's a negative inspiration. Failure, fear is what is making us do what we do. Whatever it is, I like it. Even though it's toxic, I like it. The thing is, you have to recognize that that's what's ruling you. That's the difference. Once you know that that's what fear is, what's motivating you to get up and go to work and to listen to instructions and to do what you're supposed to do in society, the better it is that you are in charge of it and you understand it, right? So it's about knowing what is really motivating you to do it, all right? So with that being said, one of the reasons why I love Aries, the energy, so much is because of its power, its fearlessness, its ability, Aries' ability, that energy, or that, that vibration that we all have, sort of, because we're all ruled by Mars. Everybody has a Mars placement, which means that you all have a Mars energy, all right? And Aries is ruled by what? Mars. So I'm going to get into it. That is the part that really, like, makes you want to go fight. To me, I can say that Aries or fear is ruled or controlled by Mars in a way where that's how you're going to combat it, okay? But I want to break down some points because I think I'm a little bit all over the place today. Let me bring myself back to center, taking a few deep breaths and let it out. Ooh, okay, let's get this. So basically this year, right, we're in the year 9. Trust me, I'm making a point. I'm still talking about fear and how we're going to control it with spirituality. But I have to give you some background information so that you make sense of what I'm about to say. So this is the year 9. Year 9 is ruled by Mars. The 9 number is a Mars number, so it's ruled by Mars. It is also known in numerology as the divine masculine number, or the highest number is the masculine number, and the 8 is the feminine, highest feminine number, all right? That is the completion number, it's the end of everything, all right? Now, with that being said, this year overall, everybody will have their own special year path number or whatever, but overall, the energy that's ruling everything is Mars, which is you completing certain major cycles in your life, because 9 is about completion. You reaching a certain mastery in whatever skill you have could be happening for some of you. Especially me as a life path 9, this year is a powerful year for me because it's intensified for me, right? Either way, life path 9s every year affects them because 9 encompasses all the numbers. Okay, so it affects you whether you like it or not as a life path number. I digress. Let me get back. So 9 being the highest number and being the divine masculine number, it rules quite a bit, right? Your actions, the masculine aspect of you. So giving you a little background on Mars and it being ruling the divine masculine, all right, in the warrior aspect. Okay, let's put that in perspective. It rules the warrior aspect because Mars is a soldier, it's a militant person, it's a fighter. Okay, that's what Mars is about. But Mars, in general, in astrology, is what rules your action. what motivates you, okay, to take actions on what you're going to do. If you want to know what you're liable to do, even tied into your destiny, what you are going to take actions on most of your life, what you need to be doing, all right, following your desires, your passion, you look at your Mars placement. Example, my Mars placement is in Gemini, in the 12th house for me. Hence, I talk to you all the time. I'm passionate about talking. I will use my communication to solve my problems. I'll use it to express myself. I'll use communication in so many ways, which means it applies to everything Gemini. So that's what drives me, right? That's my passion. I like talking, communication, reading, information, those things. So you have to understand, whenever I feel inspired to do something, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to express it with language, all right? Or I'm going to travel or go somewhere, because that's all part of the Gemini energy. It's Mercury, it's mental. Anything that inspires me will come from the mental aspect of me. What I'm thinking, what I'm writing, what I'm hearing, that, all right? Clairaudience in spirituality. So that is how you're going to find out what you're passionate about, what makes you take actions, what motivates you. And even when you are feeling like getting inspiration or getting ideas on what to do, it's going to come in that form of that sign. So let's say, for instance, let's say for you, your Mars placement is in the sign of Aquarius, okay? Let's say your Mars is in the sign of Aquarius. That means that what motivates you is going in public, dealing with people, humanitarian aspects of life, right? Understanding the new technology and the system. So the more you do things, the more you go around those things, the more you get inspired. That's what you want to do. So you might want to get a job that allows you to help people, be in the midst of people that, you know, you're hands-on with humanity, like doing something of service, like medical, all right, being a nurse, something like that, because you would feel the joy, the inspiration to get up and go. That is how your Mars rules you. So it's very important that you understand that. Now, the part of it that controls fear a little bit, I'm going to get back into this, is the fact that Mars is the fighter, is the warrior. So what are you willing to die for? What are you willing to fight for? All right, because going to war, spiritual war and physical war, has a lot to do with actions, right? And Mars. That's what it is. So what you're willing to die for is what you desire. Okay? What you're willing to die for is what you truly love and desire. So it makes sense that it's intertwined there, right? It's mixed together. Whatever actions you need to do, what you're liable to, go get with all your fighting spirit, with all your energy, is going to be your Mars placement. So understand that this year, a lot of you are not going to be able to relax and stay calm about things. You are going to become more go-getters, all right? Especially if you have good placements in depends on the sign that your Mars is in. You are going to be very inclined to do those things, okay? Let's say, for another example, your Mars is in Cancer. You are going to deal with a lot of stuff that have to do with family, right? Children, being at home, renovating the house. That's going to be on your mind like 24/7. You'll be motivated to do that. So that, I think I've shown you quite a bit there already. But what you're willing to fight for is also what you're going to die for. So you're going to, do what you got to do. All right. Mars is what makes you want to slap someone. All right. Somebody's messing around. It rules your anger. All right. I feel like I'm going to leave this point for the last. So I'm going to move on. Your desires and passion and sexual energies also can be located in your Mars sign. All right. So, for instance, let's just say the fact that my Mars is in Gemini, which means that when I bring it into my desires and my sexual energy, right, it means that I'm probably going to be one that you need to talk to me when you're making love to me, or I like to talk. I like to talk you through it. For instance, that will be part of my romantic language, right? I'll be whispering in your ears, or I'll be talking you through it, or, I'm not going to be one of those girls that will be laying there like a block, right? I'll be talking you through it. I will probably express it. I'll be like, Can you do that? I prefer it that way. You know, I'll be very instructional if I don't mess it up with, you know, directing the person. But that's an example. I know I'm being a little nasty. We're grown ups. You can handle a little sexual talk. Okay? All right, let's move on. Let's move on. So it rules your sexual drive and also the energy. All right? If it's in the fire sign, oof, Lord, that person will be a beast. Sexual beast like Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Let's say your Mars is in any of those fire signs. Oh Lord, have mercy. It will be like somebody's about to kill somebody in the bedroom. All right, if you know, you know. Check out your Mars placement just for the heck of it. I know I'm getting to the point. Okay, I know what I'm talking about, but I have to give you true understanding of what energy Mars is and what the sign of Aries really is to a point. What is ruling you? Okay. What else am I going to talk about? So I've talked about sexual. Okay, I've talked about completing cycles. Also, the number 9, since that is the end and the highest number, it also talks about, when in numerology, when you talk about number 9, you're also talking about what? Your God essence, right? Or your goddess essence. You coming into that full mastery of your skills, whatever skills it is that you have, whether spiritual, physical, like your job, talents, all that. You're becoming a master of it, all right? That is all ruled by the number 9 and Mars energy, because what drives you is what you're going to become a boss in. If you are not passionate about something, you can never become a master of it. It's one and the same, right? It's connected. Let me move on. I'm getting to my point. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. You're going to get it once I get it all together for you. But I'm laying the foundation for you to understand what, you know, what this is all about. All right. So, like I already said, understanding your Mars placement will also give you your secret weapon as your strategy. All right. Your secret weapon is your Mars placement. When I'm talking about weapon, I'm talking about, it could be a weapon like a knife that you're going to slice someone with. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say that here. But what I mean is like a weapon, your secret weapon or your strategy. You can find that in your Mars placement, because that's how you're going to fight your enemy. That's how you're going to fight through your life to get what you desire. All right, to face your enemy, you have to have a strategy. So you come at me. For instance, I've already told you guys Mars is in Gemini. I already spilled the bean. So come at me, but I'm ready for you now. I will butcher you with my lips. That's what I'll do. If you know me and you're close to me, you know I can talk, and I'll talk you down. I can break you down with my words. It's my strategy. It's my weapon. My communication. Or I can chant words and speak something into existence that will affect you. I can attack you with my words, and I can build you up with my words, and I can protect myself with my words. That's how powerful my communication, my words is, because it's in the sign. It's ruled by Mars. Okay, so you have to understand that that is your secret weapon. So let's get off mine. Let's say your Mars is in Aquarius. Let's use Aquarius again. Your Mars is in Aquarius. Your secret strategy is to use people and understand people. Okay? Or if you don't want to use it, you know, in the dark sense, and you're using it in the light, you'll be someone that really can get into the way people think, right? Knowing what is going on in society and using that as an advantage to fight your enemies via internet, using computers, everything that has to do with Aquarius house, friendship, causing chaos or talking to your friends to find out information that will give you an advantage, for instance, to fight whatever fears you have. All right? I know it sounds dark, but it's not. Because you have everything you need to rule this life of yours, if you understand what you're dealing with, right? So your Mars placement is also your talisman, your warrior talisman, your spiritual warfare talisman. If you know the placement and understand the sign, then you will know what you need to form, how you're going to protect yourself. Do you understand me? You should understand what I'm saying. It's just straightforward, right? It will protect you. That's how you're going to protect yourself. It's all of that in one. So with all of this, I'm gearing you up to prepare you to let you understand how you're going to face your fears. This is all boiling down to that, right? Because you're going to face your fears because you understand some things about yourself, what you're working with. So for instance, like you're facing a physical warfare. Somebody is getting into it with you and you want to slap someone, right? The person is coming at you and stuff like that. How would you deal with it? What would be, for instance, what would be my weapon? My weapon, it being a Gemini 2, a communication tool, I probably would talk you down and not engage in physical fight. Or I probably would be quiet. If I remain silent and you're coming at me, you're not going to be able to come at me, because if I'm quiet, then you're fighting by yourself. Right? So that's how I'm trying to get you to understand. Let's say when my man's been in Gemini, it has a lot to do with traveling, errands, going to short places, driving and all that. And with me, I'll give you an example. My childhood, when I was like 5, 6 years old, my grandparents used to drive me to a boarding house in Cape Coast Central Region in Ghana, right? And when you're going to that convent, it was a Catholic school convent, boarding house at age 5 and 6. Don't ask me. I don't want to talk about that because I'm not happy about that time in my life. But let me tell you something. I'm getting to a point. So when you get to the school border, before you get into the campus, it's a hill. And my grandfather's car was a BMW stick shift. All right, and I'm talking about, this is 40 years down the timeline here. And when they were driving up the hill, not only am I sad that I'm going to be dropped off in a boarding house and I'm not going to see my parents and my family or anybody for like 3 to 4 months at a time, but I'm also scared when we're going there. My stomach, everything is hurting as we're driving up the hill that almost looks like this. And then the car, because a stick shift, it will slide down a little bit. Can you imagine you being in fear, thinking you're about to fall off a hill, a 5 or a 6-year-old child, going to a place you don't want to be, feeling like you're going to be dropped off, be abandoned by your family and stuff like that. There was a mixture of pain, fear, and everything going on. And I was crying every time we got there, not only because I'm going to be left and I'm not going to see them, but I'm also scared that we're going to die. We're going to slide down the hill and die. So now I didn't understand that this has given me a hill phobia, right? Fear, until I came to United States. And here we are driving freeways and stuff. You all know that the freeway can go like this, go like that, go like this. And I'm like, oh God, I'm not going anywhere. I can't. So if the job is somewhere that is hilly, guess what? I'm not inclined to go because I'm scared of the road. I'm scared of going up any hill. Now, years forward, my kids and I had 2 children in the car, under the age of 10. And I'm going to visit someone in San Diego. Now, if you're in America, you would know, or you may not know, but let me tell you, there's a bridge called Coronado Bridge in San Diego. That bridge is over water. First of all, I can't swim, so I'm also scared of water. And that bridge goes like this. It's like the hill. It's a combination of my 2 fears. Can't swim because there's water down the bridge, and the bridge is on top. The bridge is built on water and it's going up a hill. And I didn't know I was going to go on the bridge. And I got there, and I entered the bridge and realized I was on a bridge. My goodness, it's freeway. You got to go 65, 70. Come see at 150. Timmy, I was sweating. My God, I was screaming. I was shaking. I was like this. I was like, and I was on this bridge, terrified to death, and worried about not killing my kids and I. At that moment, what did I do? I just told myself, I'm already here. So people were blowing horns. I slowed the car all the way down to like 30 so I could have caused accidents. I'm telling you, this was a very dangerous thing that I will never forget. My stomach was hurting. I was sweating. I was holding this car like this. I was sitting there like this. Can you imagine? I was sitting there like this. And I was freaking out. And I drove maybe like 25 to 30 miles fast. I mean, slower than everybody. And I slowly went over it. I don't know what I said to myself. I don't know what came over me. But one thing I knew was I wasn't going to die. And I could not stop the car. So I must as well drive through it and get off this bridge. So I did somehow. At that moment, I knew that my higher self had taken over. I knew that I had no choice but to face my fear. I knew that my life and my children's lives were at stake. What was I going to do? Cause an accident? Fall over? Freeze and pause? Who's going to help me? So I had to muster courage and drive all the way down. I slid and I went down. When I went down and I got the next available pullover, I pulled over. I was still shaking and I started crying and I stood there and waited for at least an hour just to calm down. That's how scared I was. That's how messed up I was that day. And why is this important? I'm telling you that your phobias, your fears sometimes is rooted in your childhood. That's why I'm telling you that a lot of us were living the childhood that we lived. Fears we have come from childhood, certain traumas, certain things, okay? I have a lot of stories about fear and how I had to summon courage to survive. I was facing life and death, not just mine, my children's as well. And bravery had to come in. So whatever I said to myself, I used my words. What did I say? Because that's my Mars placement, right? I said, you know what? I have no choice. I'm not going to kill myself and my children. So I talked myself into driving down. That's how I calmed myself down. Not really, but that's how I went through it. I couldn't calm all the way down, but I was able to manage that thing with what I was saying to myself in my head. I could have talked myself to death, right? To kill myself and my children. But I talked myself into facing it and driving down because I wasn't ready to die or kill my children. So that's how I used my Mars placement, right? At that time. But understand that if you have unhealed things and childhood traumas, you're still living it and you have not healed it, you are going to suffer and you're going to face it until you overcome it, right? And that's pretty much one of the biggest examples I can give you about how you face your fears, right? Understanding that you have no choice but to do it sometimes, right? So it was the talking positive talk was what my talisman was, my fighting spirit. It was the fact that I had to become more courageous. I had to use my courage. I had to face it. I had to do it. It was an uncharted territory, but not something that I didn't know about. So I had to risk it, right? Because 9, all right, fear is also about you going into an uncharted territory, things that you don't know, not having all the answers, all right, to help you to see the end, but still taking the risk and going. I didn't know that was the first time I was going to San Diego. I didn't know I was going to face the Coronado Bridge, but I wanted to go and experience San Diego. I wanted to go and see this person. It was very important to me. So I took a risk. I went on uncharted territory. I drove the freeway, and that's what happened, right? So at that time, I had to use my Mars placement. I had to use my courage, my mass placement, my weapons. So that's another component of understanding this whole fear, right? The next point that I'm going to talk about is the spiritual system and how fear is attached to every level. One of the things that I love about the spiritual system is that we have something like to navigate it. We have the chakras, which is the energy centers in our bodies. We have the base chakra. We have a lot of chakra points, but the main ones is the 7 in our bodies. You know, we have one in the tailbone, which is where the Kundalini energy rises. We have one in the sexual energy, which is the sacral. The first one is the root one, is the red, is the square, right? It's ruled by Saturn. The second one is the moon, all right? Is the feminine energy, the inverted, the downward triangle, right? In the sacral chakra. Then we have the third chakra, which is what the solar plexus, which is to me is ruled, you know, where your willpower is circled. I see that as your inner sun, okay? It rules your willpower, your strength, your mental powers that rules the physical body, all right? It is, to me, where the power lies to rule the devil in you, the negativity in you, the humanistic aspect or the weaker part of you stems from that part going down. What makes you physical is ruled by those 3 chakras down there. That is why I always say, you meet people up here, higher self is high this way. Your higher self is the chakras from the heart all the way to the higher level. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if my camera cut off, but I'm going to back up before I go back into the chakras. One of the biggest fear everybody is scared of is the fear of the unknown, right? Going on uncharted territory. But if you understand spirituality, you can turn that energy into seeing it as an adventure, right? Adventure of you learning something. Like the experience I just gave you was an exciting experience. It was an uncharted territory, but it came with some fears, right? That I had to face. So by you seeing it as a way to really like go on something, an adventure, learn something new, to experience something new, you should overcome, or you should see the fear, replace the word fear at that time with adventure, exploration, having an opportunity to grow and to see how strong and powerful your willpower is to face anything that will show up that is unknown to you. Because that's what had to happen. And now I can bring it back to the chakra that I was talking about, the solar plexus chakra. One of the ways you're going to have to navigate fear is to put yourself through tests like this, like going on uncharted territories, taking risk, traveling to a different country, you know, walking in the dark where you normally wouldn't, stuff like that, just to test your courage, to test your willpower, to test your Mars, right? How you're going to face it and fight it and overcome it. I'm not saying go and put yourself in trouble, but I'm telling you that's one of the ways you're going to have to work your mind, right? But bringing it into the chakras, that will show you how strong your willpower is, right? So now I'm going to go back and show you how fear is attached to every level of your spiritual self, of your inner self. In the base chakra, the fear attached to the base chakra, the root which rules your money, family, specifically your job, you know, stability, your house, things that have to do with family oriented, you know, survival stuff, which is the red color and the shape is square. The fear attached to that is, you know, like literally being afraid that you're not going to have enough money to feed yourself, to take care of your family, stuff like that. And like I was saying in the beginning, that ruling you, maybe making you get a job because you don't want to go without, you don't want your children to starve, and that ruling you. You have to be very careful to make sure that you are not, you know, being inspired by fear of survival, okay? Because then it's become a toxic thing. if you're gonna do any and everything just to survive, it might make you sad and it might break you within. So you have to analyze these things. But that's the fear that's attached to the base chakra. So you do whatever you need to do. You allow money to cripple you and make you feel broken, or like when you don't have money, you become broken. You are so scared that you don't feel good, you don't feel grounded, you don't feel like you are worth anything, or you can do anything, or you can make any moves, because you're so stuck in survival mode. And that is a fear that is attached to that, for instance. So every level has this fear. The sacral chakra, fears has to do with relationships, how you're going to deal with other people, your own desires, your passions, what is ruling. There's the fear attached to that, being heartbroken, being afraid to open up, even ending up getting some sexual transmitted diseases. Those type of fears that rule that area, for instance, being afraid to be vulnerable, being afraid to open up your emotions, to handle other people and build solid relationships, because maybe you've been broken, you've been heartbroken before, you don't trust people anymore, all right? Your creativity is shut, okay? Because it's like you don't feel that, that femininity, that intuitiveness, that creative energy, all right, down there, because of pain, okay? So now you develop fear of, intimacy and all kinds of stuff. All right, there's fear attached to every level, and I can keep going. I can go all the way to the crown chakra and the third eye chakra, which is the spiritual energies, right? You're afraid for the throat chakra like this. You're afraid that if you speak your truth to someone, they will see you for who you are, and they don't want to be friends with you anymore. They will understand you and you can't fit in anymore. So you have fear of communicating your truth and speaking your truth to someone. Instead of saying no, you are not saying anything. Say no. All right. So there's fear that rules every aspect of us. All right. Speaking of the third eye chakra, a lot of us are afraid to tap into our mind, because some of us think that we're going to go crazy anytime we start messing with our mental powers, like meditating and opening up, doing practices that will open your third eye chakra. Oh no, what if I go crazy? Oh no, I'm scared to see spirits. I know spirits cannot really talk to me. Spirits don't exist. All those are phobias and fear of spirituality, fear of your, connecting with the unseen world. There are fears attached to everything. There's a lot of people that, because of them being scared to see a ghost or to see dead people, they or to delve into anything that is occult, because they are scared, they'll rather go to church. They'll settle for church because they don't have to deal with those type of topics. So they won't learn about their higher self. They won't tap into their spirituality because they are scared. They don't want to get spooked. Oh, it's so spooky. It's spooky stuff. All right, it's just for the priestess. No, it's a part of you, but because you have been conditioned to be scared of ghosts and spirits and other worldly things, you are scared of it. So there's fear attached to all the chakras, and even all aspects of yourself, all levels of your being. All right. If you have fear in your solar plexus, for instance, you will never have the backbone to fight for what is yours. You will never be in charge of yourself, your desires, and what you want to go and do, which also includes Mars in there. You see what I'm saying? So if you think about it, every level, every aspect of you, your biggest demon is fear. Nobody talks about the fact that fear is the devil. It's another form of the devil. And it can stop you, your growth, keep you right here where you only worry about your relationship, your solar, your sacral chakra, and your roots, your family. That's where some people's level is. They don't even get to the solar plexus, because that place is about your destiny. It's about you taking your willpower, your strength into yourself and going after what you want. It takes courage, bravery, and your fighting spirit, your Mars spirit, to go after that. So if you are not able to go after who you truly want to do, who you truly are, get to know who you are, because it's all centered there, and fight and stand in your courage and bravery, then you have stifled yourself and you have stayed below your standard as a human being. Even as a human being, some of us are living below our human potential by being focused on your sexual energy, which is your sacral chakra, children, family, relationship, and money. Some of us are not even on the solar plexus, where we're taking power into our hands and becoming brave and courageous to fight for what we believe in, to fight for what we desire, for our destiny. So let's not even talk about the heart chakra, because that's the gateway to the higher self, which is loving beyond the physical. Tapping into your God essence and opening up your heart is like the key to your soul, right? That is the higher aspect, the spiritual aspect of you. So people say, oh, I love you, but they love you from here. For someone to really have unconditional love, they have to function from the heart chakra. And if you have fears and unhealed heart chakra, things that have to do with emotional traumas from childhood, and that is why it's important how mothers and fathers raise their children. If you don't show them unconditional love and what pure love is without conditions from their childhood, then they already grew up with a blocked heart chakra. And they can't open up, so their spiritual gates are somehow even messed up already. They get to their true self, to their higher self, their ultimate power is already bruised. Because they don't know what unconditional love is. They don't know what true love is. Their love is ruled by sexual energy and what they can get from somebody. And it has to be shared with someone. Self-love starts from the heart chakra. From your parents showing you what true self-love is, by them loving you so much and showing you how to love yourself, it's essential for your spiritual growth and for you to stand in your power. So what we do as parents and how we bring our children in can affect us on so many levels and affect how we confront our fears and overcome all the fear, the demons attached to every level of us, right? The fear of loving yourself and standing in your power and believing in who you are. Because you'll be shut down when people will talk down, people will shun you. Like a parent saying, shut up to their child. Don't tell me what your mind is. I don't want to know what you got to say. I'm smarter than you. You are shutting your child down. You're creating fear. You're making them timid. So you're shutting them down. You're not allowing them to be themselves. You're crucifying them for being teenagers and, experiencing sexual energy, which is normal for them to. You make them feel like they are the messed up person. They're going to the devil's fire, and God doesn't like for them to have. Let's not even go there. I don't want to talk about religion today, but I want to tell you something. What you've been telling your children or what we were told created fear. It created our own demons, and it broke us down to a point that we didn't see ourselves worthy. We didn't see our potential. We didn't see our love. Parents should be spending time doing that, finding out their children's potential and the more the child knows their worth and who they are and their value system, the more they'll love themselves and the more they'll function not out of fear, but out of true understanding and knowing of self. So that's another point I wanted to bring out. Using the spiritual system, understanding this within you and the fear attached to every level and facing those fears. All right? Because the reason why I didn't get a job downtown was because I wasn't going to drive the freeway. And as a fashion designer, if I had gotten in LA, if I had gotten a job downtown, my fashion career would have gone through so many good things. But because I didn't want to drive the freeway, I settled for doing other jobs. So that's an example of how your fears and not facing them and not understanding them, healing your traumas, childhood traumas, lacking true love and true unconditional love from your parents and the family that you grew up in can stop you in so many ways, become an obstacle for you. Someone cannot express their love for someone because they never saw their parents tell each other they truly love each other. Or if they did, they also saw the other side where the parents was being mean at the same time and cheating on them at the same time, so now they are confused. The examples are not there. So now the child is not whole. Before I continue to explain how this fear is attached to every level within you in all areas of your life, and that is your demon that you need to stand up and fight for, I want to tell you that the way out of you understanding the fear even and overcoming it is by stepping into your higher self, your spiritual essence, because that is your ultimate power. To understanding and having clarity and knowing who you are is your biggest weapon. So yes, Mars might give you the strategy and the weapon on how to face them, but your spiritual power is what is going to open all the doors of understanding and all blocks within your mental body, your ethereal body, spiritual body, astral body, all levels of you. You become limitless. And that doesn't mean that you are free from fear. It means you understand fear and what you're dealing with and how to alchemize it and how to control it, how to take charge. To heal your phobias, you must understand that you have to walk yourself through the past. Some of the phobias come from past lives. If you don't understand your spirituality, you don't believe in past lives, so you don't understand why you're afraid of water. Maybe in your past life you drowned. But if you don't understand spirituality and you're scared and you don't want to look into that, how would you know that? How would you know? Knowledge of yourself and your spiritual power is the biggest fear buster, right? The spiritual path is also indeed a healing path, healing you through knowledge of self and understanding and clarity. Sometimes, I want to say this point before I move on. Sometimes your destiny, part of your destiny is, it's not all good. I know you know that for a fact now. We're all grown and we have deeper understanding. Your destiny is not all roses. What you're meant to do is not all flowers. It has thorns. The roses come with thorns. I've explained this concept to us forever and ever, and I know we understand it now, but I still bring it up because I still have to say it. There is no perfection like that, the way we think. Everything has thorns, including your destiny. So sometimes on your destiny path, things will happen to you as a child or throughout your life. That is part of your destiny. But the point is meant to shape you and for you to overcome something. An example of what I'm trying to tell you here. When I was a teenager and I was a child, like maybe between 10 and a teenage, I went through a lot of gossip, like defamation, embarrassment, public humiliation in my neighborhood, in my school, being caught for kissing somebody and getting humiliated in front of the whole school, and people always talking about me and gossiping about me and making up stories about me, and all this stuff was going on in my childhood. I faced a lot of humiliation and people talking negative about me. Let me tell you something. Throughout my life, I faced that in so many ways. I've been going through that somehow, like patches. Somehow I find myself amongst people that think it's okay to sit down and yappy about me. It's like that energy has been following me for a while. I used to dance on stage in high school because I love dancing. I'm a creative, I'm an artist, I love dancing. I still do it now, right? And because of that, people made up stories that they slept with me and I'm loose and I'm this and I'm that. And because that was that beautiful girl that everybody knew and was popular. And people made up stories that they've gone out with me. Yes, I had my share of boyfriends, but there was also lies and fabricated stories out there. My reputation was messed up, all because I was a public person. Understand this. If I did not know how it feels like to be destroyed by gossip and defamation and people looking down on you and looking at you like you are the worst person, you are spoiled, and you are going to hellfire for being highly sexual or getting a boyfriend at 13 or 14 and all this stuff that was going on. If I didn't experience those type of humiliation, would I be sitting here with you today? In fact, for a long time, I didn't want to be out on camera, even though I knew that I had to do it somehow. It was because of the pain I carried from my teenage childhood years. And until I healed those things, I couldn't face the camera. And I could not say, I don't care what you say about me anymore. But right now, I understand that it was part of my destiny because I was meant to do this, to be a public speaker, to teach, to inform, to express my creativity. The worst thing that can happen to a creative, expressive, or a public speaker, inspirational speaker, is to be scared of what people are going to say, to be scared of the camera. That is the end of my destiny, my career, period. So, if I should care, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. I had to face those fears. I had to heal those traumas. Through my spiritual awakening, I was able to analyze all those things and fix those broken aspects of me that happened to me, because it's part of my destiny to heal that, face that, so I can live my destiny, to do what I'm doing with you today. Am I facing my fears? Yes. Do I think people are talking and still making fabrications? Yes. Do I care? Yes. Does it bother me? No. Does it change anything? No. Does it stop me? No, it will never. Because I understand. I know, I get it, because my mind is elevated and I'm functioning from my spiritual essence. Will I be if I get disgraced, will it affect me? No, not like how it used to be. No, because I understand. I am facing my fears, because it's not a fear for me anymore. I understand that it's part of my destiny. It is the thorns that came with my path. So I wouldn't have been able to overcome these things if I had not gone through the spiritual healing process and upgraded myself and seen myself from a higher vantage point and from different perspectives to really see what is truly going on. I wouldn't have overcome it. My mother didn't teach me. My family didn't teach me this. Nobody, not my teachers in school. What taught me is this, and my spiritual what? Me tapping into it. That's why I keep telling you, once you open up spiritually, you become the alpha and omega of your life. Knowledge of self is the key, is the strategy to unlocking that power. Because my demon was the demon that was going to defame me. The demon that was going to stop me from what? Not trusting people and not putting myself out there. The demon is not winning. That fear is not happening. Because one thing is, once you gain your spiritual authority and take charge of it, and you are not afraid of any God outside of yourself punishing you for being true to yourself or for making mistakes, you've also busted a big portion of your fear. Because one of the things that rule a lot of human beings is the fear that God is going to punish them. Instead of worrying about a God punishing you, you should actually focus on the fact that you have the authority to follow the law of cause and effect, which is karma. You're reaping what you sow right now. How about that? Don't worry about when you die and what will happen after you die. How about you worry about right now? Worry about what you are causing and the effect of what you've planted. All right, what you've caused. Because that, in this sense, is what you need to be facing. Now, if you understand that you are reaping what you're sowing right here in this physical aspect, in this three dimension, right in the now, you will start to control it, right? Because why? Then that fear of being punished after your life, your death, and that ruling you and suppressing you and making you behave a certain way and not taking certain chances, all right, would diminish, because really you are in charge of what you're creating. You are co-creating in this universe as having that spiritual authority in you to face your fear. There won't be, fear will not be called fear to you. It will be called, you are controlling it, right? You are in charge. It's about understanding and seeing its role, and knowing it means that you've already alchemized it. If you know something, then you are manipulating it already. Understanding something helps you to eliminate fear, because one of the true roots of fear is the unknown. But if you know it, you've already broken fears back by a million belts. You cannot be afraid of what you know, is what I'm trying to say. You cannot be afraid of what you've already understood and what you know. That is why you need to know. And it's okay for you to not know, because there is also an aspect that you have to accept about fear, is that in life in general, there is always going to be an aspect to you that you would never know. There's an unknown aspect to us, human beings, spirit beings, this universe, that we will never know. That is the spirit itself. All right, spirit itself is unknown. We will never understand it, and we have to accept it. So there's always going to be that aspect. So what's the point in being afraid of the unknown when it is something that is not meant to be understood? Let it go. You have no power over that. Another thing you have to overcome, a big phobia, like that fear plays, is death. People are so scared of death, of dying, that it stops them from truly living fully. Instead of you to have the other adverse effect of, because if you're scared to die, then you should live to the fullest. No, it actually stifles some people. I'm gonna die anyway, what am I even fighting for? And then it stops them in their tracks. When you can see that death is a transition, it's just you losing the physical shell. When you are spiritual and you are talking to dead people, your dead ancestors, your dead mother and your dead father in your sleep, on a different plane, you know that death is an illusion. Like, it's just a transition to a different level of being. Even the ancient Egyptians prepared for life after death. So let's not even worry about why you are even scared of dead people, why you are scared to die. Forget it. You are going to die. This physical body will die, but not you. Your soul will live forever. So forget it. Don't worry about it. You want to know if that's true? Open up spiritually so you can experience it and know it as a fact for yourself. Or you can do whatever else you want. All right? So that myth or that situation of you being afraid of death and that's stopping you. Because if you know, in the case of me being on the Coronado Bridge, I was so scared to die. But not just me, scared to die with my kids. So in that case, I use it in a positive way, right? Because nobody is willingly going to go and kill themselves. But at the same time, if that should happen, let's say whatever it is that you have to do, on the other side of you facing some sort of maybe death, which is driving fast on the freeway, that you may, you know, every time you get on the freeway you can die. Let's just say that. So because of that, you're not going to go to work, right? That is you allowing the fear of death or somebody crashing into you to stop you from living. That's a perfect example. So you eliminating what's the worst that could happen to you is death. From there, you have also summoned or you have conquered fear on even on a higher spiritual level. Okay. Another thing that I want to say is that the demon or the negativity is not going anywhere, which I've said already. So the demon called fear is not going anywhere. Whether you are spiritual or not, you're always going to deal with it. So must as well just gain authority and know what type of fear, the nature of the fear, the nature of the demon, and just navigate it through understanding. That is what it means to have authority in yourself and to summon courage and to build your willpower, which is your solar plexus, and all your spiritual system, strengthen it. That way you can have enough power to yin-yang it, to yin-yang, positive and negative, to balance it so it doesn't take power over you. The power of fear is in your hands. You can manage it, right? Alchemize it and make it work for you through acceptance, right? Ooh, this is turning into a long... Well, I'm glad I'm talking about it, but I'm almost done here. So, can you be defeated when you are spiritually there and defeated by fear? Yes, 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 and yes. You can be. Because there's that element of you not knowing everything all the time. So let's not get it twisted. That is why you are always a student, and you are always, no matter even if you are a goddess or a god, which is you just what that means to me is simply knowing your spiritual authority and standing in your power. You are constantly staying up on game and protecting yourself. Using spiritual protective tools like the Hamza, the evil eye jewelry, using oils like, you know, hyssop, anise, you know, all sorts of protective spiritual cleansing and stuff to, you know, also help you to understand and to see, you know, negativity and to stop it in its tracks so you don't get defeated by anything that is meant to like really like become an obstacle and to scare you into some lower vibrational aspect of yourself. You understanding it? So basically the spiritual path is also not just, it's also a path of what? A spiritual, becoming a spiritual warrior, right? And that is why you're going to need all your tools. You're going to need to understand your mask placement. You're going to need to understand your divine masculine placement, because that's how you act, and that is your physical strength is. So your sun sign is your physical strength as well. Understanding your sun sign, which is mine being in Leo, helps me to navigate and face my obstacles on the physical aspect. Spiritually, I have to know all of that stuff so I can use it to protect myself even in that realm. Because the spiritual path really just strengthens you and makes you like fearless or warrior-like. Okay, warrior, because a warrior is not scared of death, it's not scared of anything that can break them down, ego, none of that stuff. There's none. When you are in your high spirit, you are not worried about all those things, because you see from the ego perspective, right? The higher perspective. Now, I'm going to give you some more tools and kind of wrap up this conversation. I want to say this to you. Mars is about anger as well. Because when you're ready to get into a combat and fight someone, how did you get there? Irritation, frustration, anger, combative, and the anger taking you to physical, right? I don't know where it cut off, but Mars is also about anger. It rules anger, frustration, irritation, combative, physical fight, and spiritual fight, right? All of it. So I'm going to focus on the area where we're talking about anger. How are you going to use this energy called anger? For you to get angry, it took so much to get you there. Some people are short, like Aries is very short tempered. It doesn't take too long for Aries to get angry because they are ruled by Mars. It's part of their nature, right? Or even any fire sign, it comes natural or easy to them. Now, one of the ways you're going to use this anger to your advantage, to face your fear and to take actions to remove obstacle, is to allow this anger, frustration to build up to this ultimate level, which is the number 9, to the point of where you feel like you can't take it anymore. Now that buildup of anger energy channeled that you were going to use your arm to hit someone, then you take all that frustration to break through the barrier. Like, I'm talking about using anger not to break someone physically on their face, but maybe somebody needs to be smacked down, but allowing this energy to build up enough that you can't take it anymore, that you don't have a choice but to go and do what you didn't want to do, to face your fear. So using anger to its full potential to overcome an obstacle, to face something. So example of what I'm trying to narrate or say that I feel like I'm not saying it well is, let's say I know that if I drive the freeway and go downtown, I'll get a job that pays me $100,000. But if I stay where I am, I'll get a job that pays me $50,000. That is $50,000 that I'm losing. And that is, okay, for instance, that 50 is not able to it pays all my bills, but I don't have enough to do anything. All right, let's just say that. So I'm penny pinching, basically. And because of my fear, I'm living with it. But I'm getting frustrated by the minute. I'm getting irritated by the minute. It's getting to me. So what do? An example of what I'm telling you about how you're going to use the anger is to allow it to break you down to the point that, you know, you are just tired of the fact that you are penny pinching to the point that you don't got nothing to do anything. You can't go anywhere. You don't have any sort of enjoyment in life besides paying your bills. And now you're getting even into debt. So now you are so frustrated that you have no choice. So you're going to summon all this anger and frustration that has been building up over the years, which is an energy ball that you've been building within you. The explosion is to freaking drive that freeway and go. That is how you turn that anger to push you to get the $100,000 check that you deserve. That will change everything. That's an example of what I'm talking about. All right. So using that anger, letting it get to the point of no return, where you know it's like you're broken anyway. You are broken to the point that everybody's even breaking you down. That you have no choice but to go and do what you got to do. And I feel like every human being reaches their limit. And when you get to that limit, just understand that you can't do it anymore. When you get there, you got to do it. Don't fall down and die. Turn that frustration, that energy into the power to push you. That's how you got to alchemize the whole thing and make it work in your favor. All right? And make you see spontaneity, risk-taking, as something that could be a calculated risk, right? Because it's like you watch someone thinking they are taking advantage of you for a long time. Meanwhile, you're strategizing on how you're going to get away from them. That type of mental focus and power, that strategy, is all mass. Solving the problem is mass. Secluding yourself so you can be into yourself. Number 9 is also a hermit card. It's about secluding. There's an aspect of you getting clarity with mass by thinking clearly, by focusing and using meditation as a tool to get clarity and understanding on how you're going to tackle the problem. That is facing your fear. Seclusion, meditation for clarity will help you to face your fear. That is how you use spiritual power to navigate and to gain the clarity you need to break through the confusion, the indecision, and everything that has been holding you back. Meditating will slow your mind down, allow you to face and write down, introspect and write it down, or even allow your soul to talk to you and your spirit team to talk to you. All that is a spiritual tool on how you're going to navigate fear. Then, once you also introspect and you talk to your soul will start showing you synchronicities like numbers, animal, symbolism, situations, watching movies, and then you feel like an answer or what you need to do is being shown to you. That is you facing your fears and breaking the obstacle barrier by using your spiritual power of gaining clarity and talking to your higher self. Now you have that extra strategy to fight through your fears. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you do. Now, the last point I'm going to make is also embodying the spirit animal. So let's say you are about to become an actress, or you want to be an actress, but you are scared of camera. You are scared of, doing the thing, but you know you are talented and you know you can do it, but you have fear. You have a lot of things holding you back. Could be so many things that we've already talked about, childhood traumas, blah, blah, blah. A perfect spirit animal that you can buy a talisman, pray, call the spirit of the animal, meditate, visualizing the animal and communicating with the animal with your mind, will be a lion. It rules Leos, right? Leos are actresses and actors. Their leadership is embedded in them. It's a powerful divine masculine energy. It is also the talented house. It's the house of not being scared of fame. And, performance, performing arts, all that is ruled by the lion. Is the leader, the ruler of the jungle. They are courageous, they are majestic, they are charismatic, all that stuff. So you use spirit animals using meditation and buying like statues of the lion and all these other things, wearing jewelry of the lion, meditating and visualizing the lion and talking to the spirit of the lion, you will get ideas. The animal will connect with you and talk to you. Embodying the spirit animal of the lion will help you to face that fear. So you can use the spiritual tool of the spirit animals, the synchronicities, using your spirit guides, all that stuff to help you to navigate. So now I have given you quite a bit of tools and understanding through astrology, spiritual symbolism, understanding the fears and all that stuff to be able to navigate and face your fears. I think that I have tried to bring quite a bit of information. All right. Now, how does it look like when you know that you are a divine being and you are afraid to summon fear, to be in charge of what you need to do? You cannot call yourself a divine authoritative being when you can't face your fears. So one of the things that your spiritual power is going to do for you is going to help you to understand fear, overcome fear, and take charge of your life and become the authority of fear. So now you can summon fear, break fear down, whip fears behind, and set fear in its chair. It's like, sit down and let me tell you how you're going to act. You're going to calm yourself down, and I'm going to make you do this way. That is how you do it. At this point, I'm going to end and say, do you still think that your spiritual growth should be feared? Being on a spiritual path, using that power to face your fears. Should you be scared of the spiritual path? Should you be? Should you look down on it? Should you say it's demon worship? Should you say it's all this other nonsense that we hear out here? I'll let you think on that one. And this is our conversation for the full moon, my darlings. This is how you're going to be busting fear with your spiritual powers. I'm sure there's more and higher levels of this conversation. But today, this is what I bring to you. Because I've used this, I live it, it works for me, and it will work for you. But you got to do the job. You got to understand that everything requires practice and work. That's all. All right. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna see you in my tarot reading. All right. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, people. This has been serious. I haven't laughed. I haven't done anything. I've been like straightforward, giving you the gem here and there, because there's a lot of information that I had to unpack. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Happy full moon to you. And check my other videos on, whatever else I'm getting ready to do. All right. Talk to you and see you there. Bye.